There's a quiet truth that follows every musician who stays long enough. Time keeps the loudest rhythm of all. Willie Nelson understands that better than anyone, yet he refuses to rush it. While others slow down, he keeps moving, guitar in hand, eyes bright with the same spark he had decades ago. He knows life changes, that friends fade and eras end. But he also knows that stopping would mean losing the one thing that's always carried him forward: music. Willie doesn't tour to prove anything anymore. He tours because the road still feels like home. Each stage is familiar, each crowd a reminder that connection doesn't age. He's not running from anything. He's walking toward the moment with calm acceptance, filling his days with sound, laughter, and stories instead of silence. A life that refused to slow down. Most people imagine age as a finish line, but Willie Nelson has never believed in finish lines. At an age when others look back, he looks around and asks what's next. He still writes, still records, still steps under bright lights with the ease of someone half his years. That isn't stubbornness, it's joy. Willie jokes about time the way old friends joke about the weather. Something you acknowledge, but don't let ruin your plans. He's learned that energy doesn't come from youth, it comes from curiosity. As long as there's a song waiting to be written, he sees no reason to stop. For Willie, music isn't a career or a legacy project, it's breathing. And as long as he's breathing, he'll keep singing. Roots in Texas soil. Before the legend, before the braids and the battered guitar, Willie was just a boy in Abbott, Texas. Raised by grandparents, surrounded by gospel hymns and small-town values, he learned early that music could carry you places your feet couldn't. His sister Bobby sat at the piano, and Willie followed along, absorbing rhythm and harmony without knowing he was building a future. That old harmony guitar his grandfather gave him wasn't expensive, but it was powerful. It gave him a voice. He wrote poems before he understood what songwriting was, turning everyday feelings into lines that lingered. Those roots never left him. Even now, when he steps on stage, there's still a Texas boy in him, shaped by dust roads, front porch music, and the belief that honesty matters more than polish. Rejection that built a revolution. Nashville once told Willie Nelson he didn't fit. His voice was too rough, his phrasing too strange, his style too free. Instead of fighting to belong, he walked away. That decision didn't end his dream, it clarified it. Willie went back to Texas and built something that couldn't be controlled or cleaned up. Outlaw country. It wasn't rebellion for attention. It was authenticity by necessity. His music sounded like real lives, imperfect, worn, hopeful anyway. When the world finally listened, it wasn't because he changed. It was because the world caught up. Albums like Red-Headed Stranger and Stardust didn't just succeed. They reshaped what country music could be. Willie proved that staying true doesn't limit you, it frees you. Songs that became shelter. Willie Nelson didn't just write hits. He wrote places people could rest. Songs like Always on My Mind and On the Road again became emotional landmarks, meeting listeners wherever they were. His voice carried tenderness without weakness, strength without hardness. That balance made people trust him. His music didn't demand attention, it invited it. You didn't just hear his songs, you lived inside them. Over time, those songs became shared memories, played at weddings, road trips, quiet nights, and long drives home. Willie understood something rare, that music isn't about perfection, it's about presence. When people listen to him, they don't feel alone. And that connection, more than charts or awards, is what turned a songwriter into a constant companion for millions. Laughter as a survival skill. Willie has faced setbacks that would harden most people: financial trouble, public scrutiny, personal loss. But he met them with humor instead of bitterness. When life hit hard, he learned to laugh first. Not because things didn't matter, but because laughter made them survivable. He often says seeing the funny side is how he keeps going, and it's true. Even during difficult moments, Willie found perspective. He never pretended problems weren't real. He just refused to let them define him. That outlook shaped his music and his life. Optimism wasn't denial, it was choice. He chose lightness over heaviness, curiosity over regret. That mindset didn't erase pain, but it softened it enough to turn experience into wisdom rather than weight. Family on and off the stage. For most of his life, Willie didn't play with hired hands. He played with family. His sister Bobby's piano wasn't just accompaniment, it was conversation. His longtime bandmates knew his timing instinctively, sharing a bond built over years, not rehearsals. That closeness shaped the warmth people felt at his shows. Today, that circle is smaller, but the spirit remains. His sons Lucas and Micah now stand beside him, carrying both legacy and individuality. They don't imitate Willie, they expand him. Together, they show that family isn't frozen in time, it evolves. When Willie glances across the stage, you can see memory and pride living in the same moment. The band may look different, but the heart behind it beats just as strong. Music as meaning, not momentum. At this point in his life, Willie has nothing left to prove. The awards are earned, the influence undeniable. Yet he keeps writing, not for relevance, not for recognition, but because songs still arrive. His later albums aren't loud declarations, they're conversations, calm, reflective, grounded. They sound like someone at peace with who he is. Music has shifted from ambition to expression, from climbing to sharing. Willie writes because it keeps him connected to himself, to listeners, to the present moment. He doesn't chase trends or timelines. He simply listens for what feels true. That's why his newer work resonates. It doesn't pretend time hasn't passed. It honors it, gently and honestly. A life beyond the spotlight. Willie Nelson has always been more than a performer. He's a farmer at heart, an advocate by instinct, a believer in showing up for others. When he helped start Farm Aid, it wasn't a brand move, it was personal. He understood the strain small farmers faced because he lived it. Decades later, that mission still matters to him. Willie has raised millions not out of obligation, but empathy. He's spoken up for peace, for fairness, for letting people live freely. These efforts weren't separate from his music. They were extensions of it. His songs preached compassion quietly, and his actions backed it up. That consistency is why people trust him. He didn't just sing about values, he lived them. Still here, still singing. Every time Willie Nelson steps on stage, it feels meaningful, not because it might be the last, but because it's happening at all. He doesn't frame his shows as endings. He treats them as continuations. One more town, one more song, one more smile. The crowd feels that sincerity, and it changes everything. Willie isn't performing nostalgia, he's living in the present. His joy is quiet, but contagious. When he sings, you're reminded that passion doesn't expire, that creativity doesn't retire, and that purpose can deepen with time. He doesn't rush through moments or cling to them. He simply shows up, guitar ready, heart open. A legacy that keeps playing. When the lights eventually dim and the road grows quiet, Willie Nelson's music will still be moving through the world. Not as memory alone, but as comfort, inspiration, and truth. His legacy isn't just songs, it's permission. Permission to age honestly, to live freely, to keep going without apology. He turned hardship into melody, humor into armor, and time into an ally instead of an enemy. Willie showed that life doesn't need a perfect ending to be beautiful. It just needs meaning along the way. And as long as someone presses play on one of his songs, the sound of that Texas boy and his guitar will keep rolling forward, steady, warm, and unmistakably alive.